thank you. And you may proceed on the warrant.
29/2023, approximately 18:45 hours. Wyandotte officers were dispatched to the WOW gas station located at 2000 Middle in the city of Wyandotte for two males fighting. Officers arrived and located two males, one being Mr. Honi and the victim, Mr. Radloff, scrape on the left side of his face. Officers spoke with the gas station clerk, who stated he refused to sell the defendant cigarettes due to him having a paper license. The defendant became irate and was yelling at him and stormed out of the store. Officers spoke with the victim, who stated the defendant was yelling at the store clerk and throwing items around the store. When he confronted the defendant about his actions, the defendant went to his car, retrieved a set of brass knuckles, and struck the victim in the face and the back of the head. The victim stated the scrape on the face is from being struck with the brass knuckles. The victim also claimed to have a bump on the back of his head, but he refused medical attention. Officers did recover a pair of brass knuckles from the defendant's vehicle. The defendant was arrested and transported to the station and held.
All right, thank you. Upon examination of complaining witness, I find that the offenses charged were committed, that there's probable cause to believe the defendant committed those offenses. And counsel, your appearance, please.
Marshall Garmo.
No, right into the microphone, please.
Marshall Garmo, B37394, appearing on behalf of President Michael Honi.
37394, GARMO?
GARMO, Your Honor. Yes.
MO, okay, very good, thank you. Okay, and Mr. Honi, your name for the record, please.
Michael David Honi.
Honi, okay. All right, and counsel, as to the arraignment.
And send to you at this time.
Okay, I need you to speak much louder, so right into the microphone so they can have the recording.
My client pleads not guilty at this time, Your Honor.
You'd like to waive the formal reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and the court will waive the formal reading. Sir, you have the right to have an attorney if you cannot afford one. The court will appoint one to represent you, and you've taken the opportunity to retain your own counsel, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Yep.
All right, you also have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury, and you also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights?
I do.
All right. The court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Schedule this matter for a probable cause conference on August 10th at 8:45 a.m.
Where would you receive the date of recent time?
Okay, counsel, I really need you to speak into the microphone because you're very soft spoken. And with all the movement, I'm having a hard time hearing you. And I know that recording is having a hard time picking you up.
Would you please repeat the time and the date of this hearing?
Probable cause conference, August 10th at 8, I think I said 8:40, but did I say 8:40?
8:45.
8:45.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sorry?
I'm not getting the defendant's last name.
Honi, H-O-E-N-I-C-K-E. It should be on the list from the custodies that we received, but I'm sure you get that. Counsel, as to bond,
Your Honor, what I heard is an aberration. This was an isolated incident. Mr. Honi is working right now for the Detroit Metropolitan Airport as a superintendent. He and his group of employees who come from different states, about 15 to 20, they rely on him.
I'm sorry, him and his employees are what?
Like what they do, Your Honor, they go around the metro airport to control the noise by airplanes. And he does have actually 15 to 20 people waiting for him to continue with this project. Your Honor, he has no prior record. I'm told by a panel member that maybe something like 25 or 30 years ago. Aside from that, he does not have anything else. Your Honor, he's a licensed construction, and again, this was just an isolated incident. The family is here, and they're very concerned. Actually, his fiancée retained me. Your Honor, I believe a personal bond would be appropriate, or a small bond, because he wants to go back to work and continue work around the airport.
Okay. And Detective Sergeant Grote as to bond.
Your Honor, the defendant doesn't have any ties to our community. He has a minor criminal history. Just to assure his appearance, since he has no ties, we'll ask 5,000, 10%. I do not believe he knows the victim, and I believe they're both from different cities. So I don't think there'll be any worry about contact with each other.
All right. And so in court, Mr. Honi, are you on probation or parole anywhere?
No, Your Honor.
Are you on bond any other jurisdiction?
Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And so the court will note, counsel, that your client does have something out of Macomb County in 1989, as well as 1996. And 2001, he had a assaultive matter dismissed. 2001, he had a reckless driving. And sir, your address on file is correct?
What is the address, Your Honor? Just so I,
Well, the same one that's on your secretary, on your driver's license, in our.
yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Okay. All right, and have you ever failed to appear in court for any reason, sir?
Never, Your Honor.
Okay. And so Mr. Hall, please have join. All right, the court, based upon the criminal history, based upon the assaultive nature, the court's going to indicate, well, and further, the court will indicate with the defendant not having ties to the community, the court will indicate a $5,000 10% bond. These are the following bond conditions. You are not to return to the Wild gas station on Biddle Avenue. You're not to have any contact with the complaining witness. That's phone contact, text message, email, social media, third party, anything of the like. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. You're not to possess or have access to any firearms and or any weapons. Do you have any of those in your possession, sir? I'm sorry.
No, Your Honor.
Let me clarify. Not your current possession, but do you have any of those at your home or otherwise?
No, I do not.
All right, we will see you back on August 10th, and we'll give you a copy of these bond conditions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Yes.
just one thing, my.
Hold on, Detective Sergeant, the attorney's still wanted to address one more thing. I'm sorry, yes, sir?
Your Honor, he drives in the course of employment, just need the court's permission to drive.
Bring it back.
I didn't restrict his driving. If he has a valid driver's license, he can drive. I didn't restrict his driving.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're all set, counsel. All right, thank you. Okay, and so we are going to recall the matter of, hold on, off the record. Not Gross, I mean Mr. Hennegar. Mr. Hennegar, not Gross. You gave me Gross, or somebody gave me Gross. Here's Mr. Honi, please. Mr. Serrano, did you speak to Ms.? Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Monty Mullins, 231905. And Detective, your name for the record again, please.
Officer Cade Barwick.
Oh, sorry, I was looking, but I didn't pay attention that you guys had switched. All right, and please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from testimony about to give this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And you may proceed on the complaint warrant.
On Sunday, July 30th, 2023, at approximately 1:13 in the morning, Officer Harris and Officer Sloan were working in a fully marked Wyandotte patrol vehicle in the city of Wyandotte. Officers were in the area of southbound Biddle approaching Eureka when they observed a white Chevrolet Camaro bearing Michigan license plate Everett Boy Henry 1011. Officers observed the vehicle filling a maintenance lane by crossing the lane divider multiple times. Officers initiated a traffic stop and identified the driver as Monty Mullins Jr. Officers quickly detected multiple clues of intoxication. Mullins had a strong odor of intoxicants from his person, along with Mullins admitting. Officer Harris conducted standardized field sobriety tests on Mullins. Throughout the test, Mullins showed several clues of intoxication. Mullins was asked to take a portable breath test with the result of 0.19%. Officer Harris advised Mullins he was being placed under arrest for operating while intoxicated. Mullins was transported to the Wyandotte jail, where Officer Sloan read Mullins his chemical test rights. Mullins agreed to take a breath test. The data master breath test was given with the results of 0.18 and 0.16. Mullins' lean shows several OWI convictions. January 2019 in Adrian, April 2016 in Ohio, November 2014 in Allen Park, and October 2009 in Taylor. Also, Mullins has a revoked driver's license.
All right, thank you. The court will indicate after examination of pleading witness, I find the offenses charged were committed and there's probable cause to believe defendant committed those offenses. Counsel, your appearance, please.
Good morning, Judge. Attorney Corey Westmoreland, appearing on behalf of Mr. Mullins.
Thank you, Mr. Mullins. Your name, please.
Monty Mullins Jr.
All right, thank you. And counsel, as to the arraignment.
At this time, Judge, we are prepared to waive a formal reading. My client stands mute.
Court waive the formal reading, enter plea of not guilty for purposes of the arraignment. Sir, you have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you. And in fact, you've been able to speak to an attorney today, correct?
I was able to speak to the House attorney. I still need to speak to one of my attorneys, ma'am.
Okay, at this point, one of your attorneys has not yet filed an appearance. Is that correct?
I have not been able to get a hold of one because they are in my cell phone, Your Honor.
Okay, so the answer to my question that you've been able to speak with an attorney today is?
Oh, no, ma'am, no, I'm not. Outside of House counsel, no.
Sir, the word counsel, House counsel, that's an attorney. Have you had an opportunity to speak to an attorney today?
Yes, ma'am, I am sorry. I did not understand the question. My apologies.
You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand all those rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, and the court's going to enter a plea of not guilty, as I already indicated, scheduled for probable cause conference on August 10th at 9:10 a.m. If you choose to retain an attorney counsel, sir, you need to make sure that you're telling your counsel the date. And counsel adds to bond, and then I will hear from Detective Sergeant Grove.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like you to know that Mr. Mullins is a resident of Southgate. He is gainfully employed at Cleveland Cliffs. He's not currently on probation. He does not have any other pending matters. He has no history of absconding from any honorable court. And after speaking with him at length this morning, he did assure me that he would be appearing at all future court dates. So I would just simply ask that all that be taken into account when assessing a bond on behalf of Mr. Mullins.
All right, and Officer Broadway, what would you like the court to know regarding bond?
Just based on the offenses here and the history of his being intoxicated while driving, I'd ask for 10,000, 10%, Your Honor.
Sir, what is Cleveland Cliffs?
Cleveland Cliffs is the old AK Steel, old Fort Rouge complex in Dearborn. I'm a millwright there.
Okay. And, how do you get back and forth to work, sir?
With that car. But now it'll be Ubers.
Well, it should have been another option all along because you don't have a valid license.
Yes, ma'am, it should have, and that's my responsibility to taking care of that, and that was my failure as an adult.
You are correct, sir. That is definitely your responsibility. And, have you ever failed to appear in court, sir?
No, ma'am, I've never failed to appear in court. My responsibility is what I have to bear with.
And you're not on probation or parole anywhere?
No, ma'am, I am currently not.
Are you out on bond in any other jurisdiction?
No, ma'am, I am currently not.
All right, and how long have you been at your address in Southgate?
Since 2019, I believe it is, ma'am.
All right. The court, after hearing from counsel and the officer and even Mr. Mullins, the court wants to ensure the safety of the public, as Mr. Mullins, with his criminal history and this being an OWI third, court has concerns, serious concerns for the safety of the public. The court's going to indicate $10,000, 10% bond. You not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. And the event you post bond, an alcohol tether from the Wayne County Jail. And we'll see you back on August 10th at 9:10 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can I have a breakout room with Mr. Elkins, Your Honor?
Let's go off the record. Yes.
Thank you.